There we go, now my mic's on. Alrighty, here we are, jumping into our next round of SCT here. Seeing FastOrange versus Buldozer. FastOrange on Karlov of the Ghost Council. This is that Soul Sisters deck. And Bulldozer over here on Acererak the Arclich, which is generally a combo control style deck, with tutors to try to go grab something with Acererak to go kind of crazy. Cards in this deck will often reduce its cost, and if you can manage to cast Acererak for free, that'll let you pick it up if you've never completed the Tomb of Annihilation, to go into the Lost Mine of Phandelver's Dark Pool infinite times. But there's also some more roundabout ways to win sort of through that. One recently being Sibsig Ceremony, which makes it cost 2 less, and each time you cast it you can get a 2/2 zombie. We see a turn 1 Dark Ritual into a Relic of Legends. Very intimidating start out of this deck. Relic of Legends is the main piece to actually combo with the Acererak. This is the required one, because it can tap a Acererak when it enters to make that black mana. So anything that'll reduce its cost by 2 will let it be cast infinite times. Here on FastOrange's side, we're going to see a fetch a scrub land and play out a Ruin Lurker Bat. Not one I've seen in this format before. It's a 1/1 flying lifelink that will let them surveil at the end step if they had descended, which means a permanent card was put into their graveyard from anywhere. They have descended, given the Arid Mesa that went to the graveyard. We're going to see some good consideration on this one. I think the main things FastOrange would be looking for is some sort of disenchant. March of Otherworldly Light would count. Some other version of that. We'll see a Knight's Whisper out of Bulldozer. Before a land drop, which might imply that a one-lander was kept. Sure is looking that way. Kept on the strength of Dark Ritual Relic of Legends. We see a basic Plains. And Karlov's going to hit the field. Looks like we're just going to push some damage. Swinging in with the bat. Gaining 1 on hit. Karlov will grow up to a 4/4. And I think we'll just see a pass after that. Yep. No scry this turn, since no no descending happened. We are going to see that land drop in the Urza's Cave into a cast of Heartless Summoning. This is one of those cards that'll make a Acererak cost 2 less to cast. So here we can tap Relic, cast a Acererak for just black. When it hits the table, we have a trigger to venture into the dungeon and bounce a Acererak. With that trigger on the stack, we can tap it to the Relic of Legends to make a black mana. A venture will happen into the Lost Mine of Phandelver. This will repeat, giving a scry 1, making a 1/1, drawing a card, and most importantly, draining the opponent 1 life each time. It also could make the mana for the Mine Tunnels, but a Dark Tunnel is the relevant one. And if we don't have any free interaction out of FastOrange here, this is just going to be a win on turn 3 out of a Acererak. Just assembling the 2 big combo pieces from the deck into the commander itself. This looks like Bulldozer is likely explaining the loop to FastOrange right now. I'd expect a concession here in a moment. So the real strength of this Acererak deck is sort of twofold in that, because it does have that combo to really just send, but also it can just play a ton of hand attack, black removal, usually a couple black threatening creatures. Most of the ones that make Acererak cheaper don't play super great with that, but black has some great wraths in this format. I'm not sure how many Acererak plays, but I have to imagine at least a good couple. And it can sort of just put you on hold until it can assemble its combo pieces. With, of course, Thoughtseize, Inquisition, Duress, all that sort of thing to make sure the combo will work when it goes. So yes, we are going to see the concession. And into sideboarding, I wouldn't be shocked if Karlov has something in the sideboard to help with this. Because the recent... Oh, hello there. You're on stream. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, we've just seen Acererak pick up a game win against Karlov of the Ghost Council off of a turn one Dark Ritual into a Relic of Legends. Turn 2 Mist Land Drop, turn 3 Heartless Summoning win. Yeah. No, certainly an interesting one. I was saying that Karlov, I would not be shocked to see some amount of Disenchants or Stormhate in the sideboard, given the recent prevalence of Ral doing some amount of splash damage to Acererak. Deafening Silence doesn't help, which is the main one I'd expect it to be playing, which is a bit sad. Yep. Yeah, High Noon is definitely a standout for that. There are a couple other ones like Archon of Emeria, Phyrexian Censor, and Actual Rule of Law are 3-drops, but can still be relevant. And Damping Sphere is a card we've been seeing pop up. Both between the hate on proper Ral Storm, Food Chain, and some of the splash damage to decks like Acererak. Oh, it's just up on Cockatrice. It's Tiny Leader's epic battle. Alrighty. Heading here into game 2. We're going to see Karlov on the play. Looks like we're seeing at least one mulligan out of Karlov. Hello, Fish. How are ya? We gotta... Well, we got a fun battle here between Acererak and Karlov of the Ghost Council. Acererak took it on turn 3 after a Dark Ritual Relic of Legends on turn 1. Certainly is. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Delver, it's gonna be about 10 minutes down. Yeah, Karlov has had a bit of a rough run so far. Game 1, it ran into Food Chain, which the sideboard didn't seem particularly teched for combo. Not exactly sure what the list looks like, but kind of got run over round 1. And here in round 2, we're running into another combo deck, which is certainly a place Soul Sisters can suffer a little more. Especially given that it... Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, one of the things that deck can do is... Oh, absolutely. Authorities is a great one. But yeah, we're gonna see that. Yep. Yeah, fully taking things down is very nice. Into Fujin in particular, if Eternal Witness is still available, into actual Soul Sisters, it can play out a Walking Ballista, take out the Soul Sisters, rebuy it, and then cast a bigger Ballista. A more infinite Ballista than the other ones. Yeah. Yeah, Beautiful. Yeah, actual Soul Sister stopping the Acererak combo is very nice. And that combo also isn't infinite. It'll need to actually draw a card at the end of the line. That's the final chapter of the Lost Mine of Phandelver. Well, one of the things about that is that Mine Tunnels creates a treasure token, one of the rooms. So you can Temple of Durathon... Whatever that last chapter is, it Dumathoyon? Dumathoin? That's certainly an interesting one. It makes a lot of sense. I think it was for Ketramos, yeah. Because that makes a lot of sense as a... I imagine Edicts are still mostly better against Ketramos, because that deck doesn't run many creatures, but as a mostly just reasonable mainboard card, because Edicts do definitely suffer into decks like Arabella, and Grist and other token decks. Grasp of Darkness is still just fine into those. It does, yeah. Yep. Yeah. Very interesting choice there. Yeah, Dark Star Augur, Mpreg Bob hitting the field. This is a card I've been high on at points. I think the format is generally a little too fast for this one to be great right now, but especially in a Soul Sisters deck, if you want to kick that, get 2 Bobs, yeah. That one will just... Yep. That one just has a lot of potential to be a 2-for-1 the moment it comes in, and then demand answers. Otherwise it'll just rack up a ton of value. We are going to see Insatiable Avarice be a tutor, though. So that's like... Oh. Audio... Oh. Probably need to add one of these. Window... Discord. Okay, I think I've added a Discord audio source.
Amazing.
Well, we'll find out.
all my funny banter that I was doing.
No.
No!
Sorry, folks. You've lost fish banter. It's only me now.
People didn't hear what I
Oh,
said.
look.
What I said. Bat confidant.
Yeah.
Speaking of confidants, so the only issue that I see currently with the confidant play is that how much damage is Orange going to take here before the Soul Sisters kicks online and now the confidant starts becoming a positive.
I think with
That
this
is the
tutor
real
at the top
race.
of library, I think the game is not likely to go too much longer if there isn't an out from FastOrange.
Yeah, this is a matchup. This is one of the matchups where I think Dark Star Augur is going to be really good, actually. Because it's one that's both slow enough that they have time to develop, and FastOrange is also just not under any life total pressure out of Sararak. Because that deck does not play real creatures usually.
No.
Yeah, you don't lose life. You either lose nothing or a billion. So
Yeah.
Or a horde of zombies.
yeah,
Speaking of zombies, I would not be surprised if Insatiable Avarice tutored Sib-Sig Ceremony. That is the card that can most single-handedly win games out of this deck. It's one that says, when you cast a creature, destroy it, then make a 2/2 zombie. Or, well, when a non-token creature enters, and your creature spells cost 2 less to cast. You can stack your triggers with the Sararak so that it bounces back to your hand before getting destroyed, and then you still get a 2/2 zombie. So that card single-handedly does a lot of work in just paying 1 mana, make a 2/2 zombie, and venture into the dungeon.
See
Alicia
Holia
played,
hit Warp Drive.
which is a Soul Sister with Warp. One, and
Yeah, Halia
if you
notably
gain a lot of life.
does gain a life when Halia enters, interestingly. I'm not sure why that card does do that.
Because it's a tribal Soul Sisters. It's not that great.
Yeah. I think that was actually in large part just because they wanted to make the 1 mana gain life, draw a card version of it work a little better in the early game.
Oh, here comes.
Here comes the Sib-Sig Ceremony. This is that card you mentioned. That'll let Buldozer effectively pay 1 to make a zombie and get a venture into the dungeon.
Bulldozer needs to be careful because if FastOrange has a Soul Sisters, the only way to win is with the actual zombies because you are gaining more life than the Lost Minds
Yep.
actually deals.
Well, as you
As
move
zombies.
through the dungeon, you'll get treasure from the mine tunnels and card draw from the last chapter of that dungeon, which will let you use removal on any Soul Sisters that hit the field. It's largely just if you can Dark Pool enough before you draw your entire deck, which is a very real clock in this version because it deals 1 per card in deck, and especially if multiple cycles of the dungeon have to be run beforehand to find removal for Soul Sisters. If FastOrange gets up to 30, 40 life, it can be pretty impossible to win outside the Sib-Sig Ceremony zombie tokens. We are going to see a land flipped off of the Bob. I don't believe Fear is going to be much in this matchup, especially given that the only blockers are black zombie tokens.
What? You telling me that the activated ability of Shinzo is not useful?
Well, not in this matchup. We saw it do some real work against Food Chain last time, but
Yeah, it's important to note that Halisha is a Soul Sister only on your side. It's not
Yep.
an actual Soul Sister.
not a true Soul Sister. Rejected from the sisterhood,
Just like Guide of Souls.
just like Guide of
Yeah.
Souls.
Also, kind of exciting.
A Serra could give FastOrange some time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Karlov does get large enough and FastOrange can just hold up the activated ability, it could also be pretty hard for a Sararak to win. But something like pay 1 to cast it from hand, go to exile it, pay 3 to cast it from command zone because it still costs 2 less. If you get the Relic of Legends down, it can still jump in from the command zone because it goes directly back to hand. This is a deck that'll sometimes just go to execute twice in a turn. But I imagine
Mini
classic
this...
double
fast
tap.
orange.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine a lot of this matchup is going to come down to how fast FastOrange can find an answer to this Sibzig ceremony. Because if
Or
they
just
can,
kill your opponent.
yeah,
Like, you have a Mother of Runes.
Mother of Runes
play,
can
so-
push Karlov damage through. That is also a very real line. We're going to see that last card from hand hit the table, or the last known card, Elas Ilkor. This is a Death Touch 2/2. It has the half Soul Sisters effect of your creatures entering gaining life. And whenever one of FastOrange's creatures dies, Buldozer is going to lose a life. We're going to see an Orcish
No, it's when-
Bowmasters then hit the table.
Incorrect. It's whenever one of FastOrange's creatures dies, not Dozer's.
Oh, my mistake, yeah.
It is only based on your own board state.
Yep. Error on
Great for aristocrats.
my speech there, yep. But this Bowmasters here is going to ping and gain 2 life due to the LS, growing Karlov up to being an 8/8.
If Bulldozer has the relic, they should win.
Yeah. Yeah, given that no proper Soul Sisters have hit the table.
Mm.
Are we not going to see a Mother of Runes use here?
That's
We're
interesting.
not.
I will expect it
interesting.
to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I think you want to be aggressive. Although if you hold Mother of Runes this turn, it's basically unkillable. And if you can play a couple more creatures,
Yeah.
I believe Bulldozer is dead.
Yeah, with this
Also-
Halia in the warp, when that enters, gain 2 life, Karlov would grow up to being a 12/12. And with
You
another
only need one more creature.
Yep, one more, and Karlov would be a 16/16, which will punch through.
And you could just
yeah.
swing with Bowmasters, and that will also win. Because
Oh yeah, Halia jumping in grows it to a 12/12, make that unblockable. Dark Star gets in for 2, Bulldozer goes to 1. The other creatures can attack.
yeah, you still need to leave Elas Ilkor because Elas doesn't count
Ooh.
itself.
We're gonna see
Bantu,
Bantu's Last Reckoning. Destroy all
That's-
creatures.
that'll-
Yep, Bulldozer's lands won't untap during this next untap, but that'll definitely
that
be a
is-
wrath.
That is a 6-point life loss, though, due to the Ellis
I
triggers.
believe it's
Uh,
another.
only-
Yeah,
5, yeah.
so that is going to bring Bulldozer down to 10. But now I think we just need to see if something can come together here. Because there's no longer a Mother of Runes to keep that Karlov unblockable. We're just going to see an Acererak cast, which is a bit interesting here, given that Urborg won't untap next turn. But guess we're going for that treasure token, probably.
No, just casting it twice.
Yeah, making the treasure token, cracking the treasure, going into the dark pool, gaining 1 life back, getting those zombies in play.
It was a good wrath.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Soul Sisters will be really good, like an actual Soul Sister. You play Soul Sisters like Halia and you draw a card.
Well, we're also approaching the point where just normally casting a Acererak, triggering Sibzig a bunch, is probably going to win on its own if something big doesn't happen.
Yeah. Although you basically do have an extra turn next turn because Bulldozer won't have any lands.
Yeah.
Unless they should stop take a land to draw a card. I think it's the last place. So.
Yes. If they top the Kalag, they will make one more zombie and draw a card.
Yeah.
Is this game 2 or game 3?
This is game 2. Yep.
Who won game 1?
A Sararek took game 1 after a turn 1 Dark Ritual Relic of Legends. Turn 2 Missed Land Drop,
Dang.
turn 2 Missed Land Drop, turn 3 Heartless Summoning win.
Nice.
That's a game
Yeah.
where you just draw better.
Combo gaming. So the cards that FastOrange would want most here include things like Thraben Charm, Get Lost, and March of Otherworldly Light. I'm not sure how many are actually being played in these lists right now.
I'm not sure. But yeah, the Strange Sipsing Ceremony, if Bulldozer doesn't have the Heartless Summonings, will be devastating.
Yeah. We're going to see Halia hit the table from the warp, gaining a life on enter. I don't think there's too much normally that'll... Yep. Oh, Shadow Spear entering also gains a life because Halia sees artifacts.
So you are one life of play of drawing a card.
Yeah, no card draw.
Well, that's draw a card, make a zombie.
Yep, there's a swamp. We're gonna see... We could see something else, like some removal spell perhaps on this Halia. Not too many unconditional kill spells would actually kill Halia here. Yeah, we're just gonna see the Acererak hit the table again. Picking up a card, making a zombie. And just sending it over. So we could just see Karlov hit the table again here. With the Shadow Spear on table, that means it can actually start breaking through zombies at some point.
I do think you really need Soul Sisters in this case because
Yeah.
next turn is just add 5 zombies to the board. You lose a life, I gain a life. Make a treasure and draw a card. Which is still too much for a deck.
Yeah, all sorts of things. Yeah, and
Beat
especially
Dirt
without...
fairly.
Yeah. Especially without a real Soul Sister, making Karlov massive along the way.
Yeah. Although if you have a Beathook Massacre in hand,
Yep.
playing Karlov this turn will end the game next turn because you will just run can like 14 counters on Karlov and just win.
Yeah, for sure.
Although I actually don't know if Soul Sisters plays Beathook Massacre.
Ooh, a Sheltered by Ghosts. So this is going to be an Oblivion Ring of sorts. This can temporarily get rid of the Sipsik Ceremony. Should mean Bulldozer now has to find a piece of removal to free that. Which shouldn't be too hard for the deck. It certainly plays a decent amount.
Yes, and it does have War 2, so it does self-defend
Yeah,
itself.
it gains +1/+0, lifelink, and Ward 2. We're past the point where I think Ward 2 will be too relevant on that front, but certainly could do something. Ooh, we're going to see this Essence Channeler hit the field. This is a Pridemate that also will gains flying and vigilance if you lose life, and when it dies it can move its counters to another thing. So with a couple more life gains, if we don't see a fetch land, I could see just crashing that into some zombies, throwing its counters onto something like Halia, and just
Yeah,
trying to grow that bigger than the zombie army.
yeah. Expedition bag getting Cabal coffers means a lot of mana. Cabal coffers currently
Yeah,
taps
with
for
Herb Organ
6.
play, yeah, that's 7 mana floating currently.
I think it's just 6. Yes.
Oh, yeah, no, never mind. It was 3 for that. So yeah, that's just going to be cast to Sararak twice, I think. Which no longer making zombies is just venturing into the dungeon. But venturing far
For
enough...
3 mana.
Yeah. Venturing far enough can certainly help find those last combo pieces with both the scry one and draw a card. And between goblin tokens and life and dark pool life gain, it can help extend things out a bit.
Scry goes to the bottom.
Ooh, we're going to
Dystopia.
see Dystopia. So this is going to have each player sacrifice a white or green permanent if they control one during that player's upkeep. Also, it's cumulative upkeep for 1 life. So it's not going to stick around too long, given the 11 life total, but that's likely going to be pretty devastating here. Yep, FastOrange is going to have to sack that Essence Channeler. Its 1 counter should go on to Halia here.
We don't know if they remembered.
Yeah, it looks like that might be a mistrigger. Worst case right now, FastOrange could slam Karlov down and then sack it to the Dystopia. But some more material for that is definitely going to need to be found. Either some removal spell for it, or just enough things that it can... that Bulldozer has to sack it due to life total before that kills Halia.
Ocelot Pride is already in the graveyard, but a reanimator Ocelot Pride will be massive because it will give you a token, which each turn, which will be good enough to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's by this point. Ocelot Prime will be 2 tokens each turn.
7, 8, 9. No, you need 1 more permanent.
3, 7. Yeah, you will need 1 more permanent.
What's the reanimator? Reanimates multiple stuff if they're small.
There's a couple. Scout for Survivors, I think, is the main one played. That's the one from
One that
Edge of
jails?
Eternities that gives a counter.
And we do have a tap for white. The actual Soul Warder.
Ooh, we are going to see real Soul Warden hit the table. Which is a powerful card here, but again, it's likely just going to die into this Dystopia.
I think you might need to try to grind off, like get lucky drawing stuff and just force the Dystopia to die on itself.
Yeah. We're going to see a Shadow Spear equip here, it's looking like.
Yes, on the
the
Soul
Soul Warden.
Warden.
Yeah, I think the best chance for FastOrange here is just letting Bulldozer bleed out a bit to this Dystopia. And just really needing those couple white cards off the top.
Although Bulldozer right now has what? 6, 7, 8, 9 mana?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 9. We're going to see a Knight's Whisper, putting Bulldozer back down to 8. They can afford to pay 2 and 3, so that's 2 more turns of Dystopia. Or, well, this next one, then pay 2. 3 more turns of Dystopia. Ooh. We're see a kicked Blood Chief's Thirst. Paying that ward, it's looking like. Because, yeah, that makes 6 mana. That's 1 and 3 and 2. Yep. So that's going to... Oh. Rewinding. It's actually going to be a Fatal Push. Interesting. I don't believe Revolt was
Because
gained
the
this
blood
turn.
You could Blood Chief's Thirst only targets mana cost 2 or less. Halia is a 3-drop.
Bloodchief's Thirst kicked, which is what's happening here with the Cabal Coffers. We'll just destroy it instead.
That is, there you go, that is true.
Yep. But yeah, looks like Halia's going down. Yep, that's Shelter by Ghost gone, that's Halia gone. Sibsig Ceremony returns. And it's gonna
The
be...
Soul Warden is going to die the upkeep.
Yep, the Soul Warden is not sticking around for long. We're just gonna see it pushed instead to get some damage in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm a little surprised by that. I would have expected an Acerarat cast.
I would have
given that-
expected two
yeah.
Acerarat cast because
Oh yeah,
the next one is a treasure token.
Yeah, I think that pushes a bit more damage in the slightly longer term, given that FastOrange was at 24. But
Yeah.
certainly does work
I
here.
don't think it makes a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
unlikely at this
FastOrange
point.
needs a rat for next turn. Unless he can reanimate multiple creatures, he cannot do anything or play a black creature.
Something like a removal spell for Sibsig Ceremony here, into some like a 3/3, or just Karlov equipped Shadow Spear over 2 turns.
Or something
could
like
stabilize. Yeah, Barrogoyf would stabilize if the Sibsig Ceremony is cleared. Because if a white permanent isn't cast this turn, I imagine the Dystopia is just not going to be paid for. It certainly could be, just to prevent FastOrange from casting a white permanent on that next turn.
Maybe this is a concession.
I don't think so. You still have a turn. It's impossible to die next turn.
Yeah, it's possible unless
Not
I
impossible. A Relic of the Legends off the top would be a kill, but yeah, it's not face up.
Yeah, and I believe the Karlov deck has to have some wraths in the deck.
It certainly could. Soul Sisters doesn't love Wraths, given that it's a sort of creature-based synergy deck. It doesn't want to Wrath its own Soul Warden, Onslaught Pride, Mother of Runes. But
yeah, but you could run some of them. Like
Meathook Massacre is the standout for Soul Sisters.
Yeah. Or even Toxic Deluge, because if you have a Karlov big enough, Toxic Deluge could be a win.
Yeah.
I highly doubt we have anything like them here, because that just destroy everything.
I'm not sure what could be in hand to not have have a fairly clear solution. We're just going to see a pass. That's very interesting.
Let's see if Buldozer pays for Dystopia.
We are paying
Buldozer
for
is
Dystopia.
paying.
I guess that the card in hand is probably just a white permanent, and they don't want to play that or Karlov just directly into this Dystopia. We are going to see what that card in hand is from this duress.
Let's see if we get the reveal to everyone. Good.
swords.
Swords to Plowshares. Yep, that's a tool that helps to slow a Acerarat down, but not in this case from the hand attack. That'll just be a little bit more life over to Bulldozer. And is it time to just spam a couple of Acerarats? Sure looks like it. So that'll be a treasure token and a zombie token. They could push down into the temple, the last chapter before activating coffers, with the because of the treasure token. See if another swamp is found for an additional 2 mana. Well, additional 1 functional mana. Looks like that's probably happening. But, yep, looks like we're just going to see 6 more casts of Viscerarak likely.
7 because of the treasure.
Yes, 7.
Mm,
Well, actually,
8.
with that, yeah, that gets into treasure again, so.
Interactive play. We're playing Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah. Yep. We're at the point where we've hit the sort of Tron phase of the game, where a ton of actions are being taken without the full combo, and we're just going to see a ton of zombies roll out onto the field.
Technically, we can see the combo if they scryed into.
Nope.
No,
Made
that
a
was a
goblin
misclick,
token for a
yes.
second, but yeah. Yeah, treasure token here.
Yeah, if they find the Relic of Legends in this next card draw, it's just a game.
Yep.
Although I will say I do.
Yeah, that would put the game over immediately. I don't imagine it's actually too relevant here.
To be honest, I'm not sure what's the out right now.
I think, yeah, no, needing the card to both survive this next turn of zombie tokens, given there's going to be more than 10 of them, while also shutting down the Sib-Sig ceremony. Otherwise, this just happens again the next turn. I'm not sure if there are any more outs in the deck. I don't believe there are.
Because the best out right now will be Breath of the Skies, which I don't think they play, but you don't have enough mana.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like a 1 mana draw 2 into Dark Ritual Wrath of the Skies. But I don't think. A Deadly Dispute exists and could sack the Shadow Spear. Unlikely that all 3 of those cards are in the deck. That would be crazy. But there is technically an out of Deadly Dispute into Dark Ritual into Wrath of the Skies for 3.
Technically, FastOrange could draw and Ghostly Reason. Don't think they're on that, but
Draw what?
Ghostly Prison.
Oh, Ghostly Prison, yeah.
You still need on board is the problem. More than 5 creatures can attack.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, can you activate Cabal Coffers
Yep,
for
that-
that? I think you
Cabal
can.
Coffers would put up to 6 mana for. Cabal Coffers would tap for 6, and then there'd be 3
7.
other lands. Oh, right, there were 7 lands in play. Yep, so that's. Yeah, 7 from the Coffers, and then 4 other lands. Discounting those 3 for the Coffers. There wasn't a treasure in play, so.
And
yeah,
there were a couple treasures, so yeah,
but.
that was game.
That'll wrap it up there. We're just going to see the power of Sib-Sig Ceremony in this deck. Not fully comboing, but playing through Disruption, using that hand attack and removal to keep those cards on board. And we're just going to see this taken over by a horde of zombies.
Well, this was winners, right? On winner's side.
I
I
believe...
believe.
I believe
No, that
Karlov-
was on
Yeah,
losers.
Karlov lost the last one from Food Chain. So
Yeah.
yes, that'll be FastOrange eliminated from this tournament, running into 2 combo decks, and that'll be that. We're gonna see a Sararak continue to live. Our respects.
Rip Soul,
Our
Rip
respect.
Soul Sisters.
Our respects to the great Council Vorzova. Long may they reign.
Pay your taxes.
Pay your taxes. And stay tiny, folks.
And stay tiny.
So we have a lot of games to go yet. But that was the there is only one more match in round 2. Only Carbon versus Sick round.
Yeah, we're almost onwards.
Okay. Yeah.
Y'all have a good night.